Hi everyone, and welcome to another vlog. Now I'm here in Greenmill Park again, near my house. I'm actually just about to go to work, but I wanted to make a new vlog before I do so. And I want to talk about my funniest travel experience so far, a trip I did with my best friend all the way back in 2018. It was just a complete disaster from start to finish, but it's one of my favorite memories. So I've been traveling for about 4 years now. I've been to many countries in Europe, and then New Zealand, and now Canada. But one trip is always going to be in my memory, and that's the one I did with my best friend in 2018. So back then, before all of my travels, me and my friend from Novi Sad, a town in Serbia, we were talking about how we feel stuck in life, just doing the same job every day, going to the same gym every day, and just living the same day, like day after day. So we decided it was time for us to travel and see the world and just have an adventure, do something new and exciting in our lives. And since we didn't have much money back in the day, we couldn't just go to Southeast Asia or some place like that. So we had to travel somewhere closer to our home. So like Croatia, Serbia, Greece, that was the best option for us. And we always had this fascination with Greece ever since we were kids. Oh, sorry, this camera is going to be heavy. So we always had this fascination with Greece ever since we were kids. We love the history of that country and just everything that has to do with that country. So we made this brilliant plan to just walk all the way to Greece. Yeah, so instead of flying or driving to Greece, we actually planned to walk all the way to Serbia, Macedonia, down to Greece. And looking back at it, it was a really ridiculous idea. I don't know what we were thinking, but I guess we were just young and we just craved that adventure, and it was a pretty good idea for us back in the day. So the morning of the trip, we bought our first backpacks, sleeping bags, tents, and axes. Yeah, for some reason we also bought axes. I guess we were planning to camp on the way. I have honestly no idea. But yeah, we also had axes. And the plan was to walk to Serbia. Now, Serbia is full of these monasteries that offer shelter to travelers. So our plan was to walk to the first monastery, spend the night there, maybe do some work for them, and then continue on to the next monastery and do the same thing over and over again until we reach Greece. And also find some work along the way just so we can save us some extra money. Now, the morning of the trip, we crossed this bridge that leads from Novi Sad, our hometown, to Petrovaradin, and we started walking towards the first monastery, which was about 10 kilometers away. So while we were walking, people were kind of looking at us, I guess because we had these huge axes on our backpacks, so we probably looked ridiculous to them, and we probably were. So the first monastery was about 10 kilometers away, and when we reached that place, the monks that live there told us, no, you cannot spend the night here, you have to find somewhere else. We weren't discouraged by that, so we kept looking for the next monastery, and the next one was about 5 kilometers away from that one. And when we reached that monastery, they also said no to us. So at this point it was late afternoon, so it was getting dark, and we needed to find some place to sleep fast. So we googled some monasteries in the area, and we found another monastery, another 5 kilometers away. So we were kind of tired at that point, and when we reached that place, they also said no to us. But at this time they actually explained why. It's because they don't offer shelter to travelers in winter, only in spring and summer. And yes, I forgot to mention that we started our journey in January when everything was covered in snow. It was probably the worst time to start traveling and start walking to Greece. We should have waited at least until spring or summer, but I guess we were just too impatient to start our trip, so we started walking in January. And yeah, at that point we just felt completely defeated. We didn't know what to do. It was around 6 or 7 in the evening, so we found a local hostel that was a really expensive place, because hostels are really not a big thing in Serbia, and I paid for both of us, so we spent the night there. We probably walked around 35 kilometers that first day, just from monastery to monastery. I think we went to like 3 or 4 monasteries, so it was a really long day. And we saw many things along the way, but it was a really exhausting day. And when we were at that hostel, we were talking about how, because it was January, probably every single monastery is going to say no to us on our way to Greece. And we didn't have that much money to spend on hostels and hotels and all those places. So we kind of had to admit defeat, and we had to go back home. So the next day we checked out, packed our bags, and went back home. So that was our trip to Greece that was supposed to last 2 or 3 months. It actually lasted only 1 day, and it was a complete disaster. But looking back at it, it was a really fun experience. I'm just surprised how much courage we actually had to try something like that. It was a completely ridiculous plan, but we actually tried to do it. and that was a really fun experience. It was definitely one of my favorite memories, just a fun adventure with my best friend. And yeah, it actually taught me so much. It actually taught me that I need to plan my trips way better. I need to save more money before I try to do anything like that again. And that's where I kind of got my idea to go to New Zealand and start backpacking there. And I actually went to Croatia after that to save some money, and I managed to save some money, and then eventually I went on to New Zealand and I was backpacking there for 3 years, and now I'm here in Canada. So I guess I've learned my lesson from that trip, and as much as it was a big disaster, it was a really unique experience, and I'm glad I had that experience with my best friend. It was honestly, I'm always going to remember that trip. But yeah, thank you all for watching. That was my funniest travel story, and I'm actually going to work now, so I'm going to see you in the next one. Bye!